How did you measure the success of this campaign as a whole? And I will also point out that we got a lot of questions in advance about how you measure ROI and track conversions, which I imagine it's top of mind for you.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously had a million conversations about what are the right metrics. There's a lot of things to look at. I mean, very simple. What we look at for awareness is, unless you're a giant brand who's doing awareness studies all the time, it's very hard to measure that. But video views, I think, is the most, biggest picture metric to look at. I mean, we were starting in January. We're only getting, hundreds to maybe 1,000 views per week, and now we're getting over 1 million views per week. And that to me is like, clearly we are shifting the needle in terms of our awareness, if that many people are watching our videos. And to stay on the metrics conversation, I think there are the softer metrics as well. Yes, we did see some sales bumps, which we'll get to, but even when you go into an Ulta store and the employees are like, oh, I saw you on TikTok, or our field team is getting excited, like, oh, some customers came up and said that they saw you on TikTok. They may not have bought something that day, but they asked for a sample. I think, there are these softer metrics that you hear that you just know it's building, you're feeling the awareness, and then you have the metric of the views to know that you're getting the maximum impressions. When it came to, to sales, so, we were testing and learning with different influencers. When it came to launch our bloom boosters, which were like our sensitive skin alternative active serums in March, that's when we said, okay, like, let's assess who is working. Some people were working better than others. We kept those, and then we brought in some newer people as well based on what we learned from the metrics. Because to the earlier question, like, yes, there is a formula that you think you could predict who's going to be the best, but some people, don't end up performing as well as others. So you just have to figure that out and then continually re-optimize your influencer mix. But what we saw was that when we ended up with the right mix of people, not only did they do a paid post for us, but they ended up doing sometimes 3 or 4 more additional organic posts because they fell in love with the brand, they fell in love with the products, and that's really how we started to see the snowball effect of our influencers.
I think that's a really great measure of success as well. The sort of ripple effect of, okay, we chose to pay or contract with 14 different influencers, but over the course of that campaign, you saw 89 actually talking about the products, and then that metric around the influencer loyalty as sort of a metric of how many posts are you getting per influencer, especially beyond what you've contracted. And I think that's a really interesting metric that we've seen a lot of brands start tracking is what's happening in that time between campaigns or what's happening outside of the contract. And that's usually a sign that you have a good partner and potential long-term there.
We use that as a key metric now as well.
Okay.
And it's also helpful in that, now other influencers are coming to us, reaching out, some bigger names that, we probably would have sent an email 4 months ago, we wouldn't have gotten a response. But now, based on people seeing the love that's coming organically from some of our influencers, people are coming to us. So it's been pretty great to see.